Inland sea, I'm guessing, is not too far from the Pacific Ocean. In fact, it's only about 30 miles away. That's less than a straight shot between LAX and Santa Monica. So if you were Urashima, you might live a quiet life fishing on the sea. You might be so good at it, in fact, that you can catch any fish, big or small. And since you don't need to work during the day, you might take your boat out every night and drift aimlessly under the moon. And one night, the moon was shining especially bright, illuminating the path of the sea like a highway. And our hero, Urashima, instead of paying attention to his boat, which was slowly drifting, or to his nets, decided to kneel and dip his hand into the water. I don't know why. His hair must have fallen over his face because it says he lowered himself until his hair lay spread upon the waves. I guess this is how we honor the moon. He stayed there for a while, totally distracted until he realized, wait, I think I'm in trouble. But it was too late. He'd drifted to a haunted place, and the moon had made him crazy. So crazy, in fact, that when the daughter of the deep sea came up, he didn't notice. She took him in her arms and sank with him down to her cold sea cave. I'm not sure if she just immediately took him to her cave, or if she let him come to a bit first. But at least when he came to, he was on a sandy bed and wasn't actively drowning anymore. Daughter of the deep sea looked at him for a long time before casting her sea spell on him and singing her sea songs and holding his eyes with hers. And he finally got around to asking, "Hey, who are you?" "You already asked me that," the daughter of the deep sea replied. "I'm the daughter of the deep sea." "Okay, daughter of the deep sea," Urashima said. Can you let me go home now? I have to get back to work." "Why? Why don't you stay with me?" daughter of the deep sea asked. "What? How do you mean?" "Well, Urashima, fisherman of the inland sea, you are beautiful. Your long hair is twisted round my heart. Don't go from me. Just stay here forever and ever with me." Well, yeah. I appreciate the compliment, daughter of the deep sea, but you seem to be forgetting that I have a life. I have kids, probably a wife. Maybe I should go check in on them." "Ah, now," daughter of the deep sea said, sighing dreamily. "I know you want to see them again. O fisherman of the inland sea, I'll set thy couch with pearl. I'll spread thy couch with seaweed and sea flowers. You will be king of the deep sea, and we will reign together." Wait, hold on. Whoa. Back up, daughter of the deep sea. I appreciate the offer, really, I do. But I don't think I'm cut out for deep sea royalty. Not to mention I've got a family waiting for me back in the boonies. "Yeah, if you don't mind. I'll pass." "Ah, now," daughter of the deep sea said, shaking her head. "Forget it, Urashima. I thought you were perfect, but you're obviously not. Never mind." "Well, thank you," he said. "Never be afraid of the deep sea tempest. We will roll rocks about our cavern doors. Neither be afraid of the drowned dead. Thou shalt not die." "Oh, please stop," Urashima begged. "I swear I would be happier in a dry grave than spending another second listening to you talk." "Okay, fine," daughter of the deep sea said. "But if you're gonna leave me, the least you could do is spend one last night with me." "Not one," Urashima snapped. Daughter of the deep sea burst into tears. Our hero saw this and felt terrible. All right. You win. I'll spend one night with you. Happy?" "Oh, yes," she said, throwing her arms around him. "I love you, Urashima. I love you." And with that, she carried him up to the surface and deposited him on the shore. "Are we near your home?" she asked. "Yep, just beyond those bushes," Urashima replied. "Oh, good," she said. "Here, take this." She handed him a casket made of mother of pearl. Its clasps were made of coral and jade. "Oh, wow," Urashima said. "This is beautiful, thank you, but you shouldn't have." "It was nothing," she said. "Just please, when you open it, don't blame me." "What do you mean?" he asked. "Just promise me you won't," she said. Okay, I promise," he said. With that, she slipped back into the sea and disappeared. Our hero then picked up his precious box and went trotting along the beach toward home. He was so happy to be going home that he started calling to his kids, like he always did. And when they didn't respond, he assumed they were playing hide and seek. So he kept calling until he finally got closer and realized, wait a minute, my kids aren't playing hide and seek. They aren't here at all. He dropped his box and sprinted to his house, bursting through the door to find only 4 empty walls staring back at him. Moss grew in the corners. Nightshade flourished on the threshold. Death lilies by the hearth, dianthus and lady fern. No living soul was there, and that's when he noticed the box he'd been carrying. He dropped it by the door and sank to the ground, asking the universe, what gives? Did I lose my wits? Did I leave my eyes in the deep sea? When he stopped crying, he got up, brushed off his clothes, and went to the village. He walked through streets that were totally unfamiliar to him. The stones in the way, the tiled eaves. Everything seemed strange, and he couldn't remember having known any of it. Finally, he saw something he recognized, an old banyan tree with a huge root cellar underneath. He used to sell his fish there, so he stopped by to say hello, but the owner was gone. That's when it hit him. Am I Urashima, fisherman of the inland sea? Was I ever Urashima, fisherman of the inland sea? Our hero didn't recognize anyone. They all seemed like strangers to him. So he wandered on, passing peasants coming from the mountains, going about their business. They wore simple homespun robes, and some carried baskets of wild strawberries, others sheaves of lilies bound upon their backs. Urashima reached out to try to touch one of the lilies, but it slipped through his fingers and fell into the dust. He watched as the child who owned it picked it up and dusted it off. He wanted to ask where he lived, but the child walked away without a word. And when Urashima tried to call after him, his voice sounded like the cry of a seabird. Discouraged, Urashima continued on, passing pilgrims clad in white, each with staves and rice straw hats, sandals fast bound and gourds of water. Each one seemed to walk with purpose. Some walked backwards. They also seemed kind of rude. Urashima thought maybe he should introduce himself, but when he tried to speak, he could only make bird sounds. He trudged on until he saw lords and ladies approaching, borne in their gilded keigo. Their attendants walked ahead, clearing the way. Their banners trailed behind. They looked important, but they were just as rude as the pilgrims. No one answered when Urashima called out, "Excuse me, do you know where Urashima lives?" At last, the sun dipped below the horizon, and the mountain waves of the sea rolled onto the shore. "I wonder," Urashima said, "who will comfort me?" The night wind sighed but didn't answer, and he returned to the seashore. "Who will comfort me?" he cried again. But the sky was unmoved, and Urashima slumped against a rock. "There's the casket," he said. He took it from his sleeve and opened it. A faint white smoke rose from it and floated away to the far horizon. Urashima felt a sudden weakness grip him. "I grow very weary," he whispered. His hair turned white as snow, his body shrunk, and his eyes grew dim. The fisherman of the inland sea swayed and tottered where he stood. "I am old," he murmured. And he laid down his length upon the sand and died. So the end. I wonder what's inside that box. Maybe we'll find out in part 2. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.